Actually, this is the first Congress in Kuala Lumpur. I mean, that's the significance of it. I think it was quite a successful conference. 3 days of heavy debates. There were three main papers discussed. One was on the issue of the new economic model, Najib, new economic model. We discussed about transition within the PSM. Is there a huge gap between the top leadership and the grassroots in terms of understanding of ideology? Another important issue we discussed is the issue of climate change, because PSM has always been active in economic issues. So one segment of the party says, as a socialist, the environment front is the biggest front facing humankind today, talking about the environment, climate change and all that. So we also debated that. So these were the three main papers debated. We had 26 usul, resolutions by branches and all that, which we discussed till almost 2 a.m. yesterday. And I think about 10 usul got passed, some got thrown out, some got pulled back. That was the climate.
What were the significant usuls that were approved?
You see, we had 26 usuls, and I think one of the usul, one interesting usul was on Pakatan Rakyat, which actually there was one issue about how should a party like PSM, who are not in Pakatan, but Pakatan friendly, should we criticize Pakatan openly or not, on the issue of Ulu Selangor by-election. It was felt by our members that it is important for us to discuss with Pakatan what are the weaknesses and to expose this thing, So there were overwhelmingly, that was the resolution was passed, that we will raise these issues to Pakatan on our unhappiness on election campaigns. Because we in PSM feel that the people need to be empowered with ideas, for change. Not empowered, we cannot fight BN using BN tactics. That was the main argument. That means we have to fight BN with ideas for change, and people have to be empowered. I think one biggest call we felt is after Tsunami 2008, we have not gone in empowering the masses. We have a lot of welfare work which is done by the Pakatan government, which is very good. Welfareistically very good. But welfare can also be done by Barisan. So you can't fight that, You need to have a change in thinking, empowerment, and that's what we were pushing for. Another interesting usul, actually the usul was finally approved, was the usul that PSM, because there was a call whether PSM should be the third force, working with other groups, or with Pakatan Rakyat, work with Pakatan Rakyat against Barisan Nasional. The decision was that PSM work with Pakatan Rakyat because we feel that 53 years of Barisan need to go. Whatever differences we may have with Pakatan, we think it's not as great, and we think we have to unite against the common enemy, and we think Barisan Nasional is clearly the problem today. And they are more draconian. They are using, they'll use race and religion, and they have to go. And in that, there was a resolution that we will work with Pakatan. We will work in the next election with Pakatan, make electoral pact with Pakatan, like the previous elections, and then take on Barisan Nasional.
Does that mean that if Pakatan were to be a former coalition like BN, for instance, that you will also be part of that former coalition?
Okay, the Congress, you see, the thing is, for this year's Congress, if Pakatan uses a common logo in the next election and has a common manifesto, then most likely we will look at the manifesto, and then if we are comfortable with it, then join. That's it, join that common platform to oppose, Because at this point of time, the Congress did not have those, the members did not have those important documents. That was not tabled, that means the Pakatan's common agenda was not tabled. So it was felt that that has to be looked at, as a common platform. And that if that is okay, then the electoral pact with Pakatan.
Like PKR, for instance, they seem to have a lot of internal problems. And then you come in as a friendly component party. And like in Ulu Selangor, where you may not like the way that they have so-called used government machinery, for instance. That could be another sort of sore point, that would which would contribute further to a very unstable Pakatan coalition, you think?
Even within Pakatan, there's been a lot of criticism on how election machinery was done and all that. And I think we want to contribute. We feel in any organization, the organization can move right or left. It can become more progressive, it can regress. And we think PSM input is to work with the progressive forces within Pakatan, within the past, within the DAP, to move the struggle forward, And we believe there are such people there. I think one thing we are looking at is this next 1 year, the subsidy cut. We feel that the issue of, one thing about PSM is we've been very consistent on those issues, economic issues, GST, with the main group fighting against GST. Fuel hike, we in past used to be the main force fighting against fuel hike. Now the subsidy of, again you have problems on toll rise, increase of, these were the biggest concern. So we think the next 1 year is a very good opportunity to PSM to build the forces on these issues and to fight on, There are enough things to fight on, Nazir spoke about being revolutionary orientated, He says we have to come revolutionary orientated from below, the masses are our bigger asset. Of course, when we talk about election, then you get very technical about seats, who to win, who to put, and and a lot of calculation. But one effort which we think will not go wrong is how we empower the masses on issues, and this can be used throughout, And we think we want to invest in that. We think that's a good investment, working what we are doing now, but to strengthen this movement on grassroots issues and issues which we think is the subsidy, wages of workers. We think these are the major issues which we have to address. One of our main resolution in the Congress was to push for the minimum wage act, not the minimum wage, because we think the government is just beating around, and now they're giving us new theories and all that. We think this is a very critical act, and we are going to campaign on this very strongly. Some of the interesting thing which came up is that PSM should have a left cultural exhibition to enhance all the left artists to come together, to promote art, because we think art is a very important revolutionary component of a movement, and we think something which we have neglected over this year. So we are planning to have a big art exhibition on left art. That's one thing which came up. Another issue was to organize a rally on capitalism and environment. I mean, the way the capitalists are talking is, when there's an environmental problem, they're talking about blaming the people. They don't blame the system. PSM plan to call for a rally, perhaps a rally, capitalism and the environment, and they are the problem, and we want to push for that.